Welcome back. In the rich and glittering history of Australian coinage, few issues capture the national spirit, heritage, and numismatic prestige quite like the 1988 $50 gold coin, commonly known as the Bicentenary gold coin. This isn't just a piece of currency, it's a shining symbol of 200 years of European settlement in Australia, a tribute cast in gold, a keepsake for collectors, and a milestone that marks an unforgettable chapter in the story of a nation. The year 1988 was no ordinary year. It was the 200th anniversary of the arrival of the First Fleet, Port Jackson, in 1788, an event that fundamentally transformed the course of Australian history. To commemorate this monumental bicentenary, the Royal Australian Mint struck an elegant and meticulously designed gold coin, not meant for general circulation, but rather as a collector's item, reserved for those who appreciate history, beauty, and the timeless value of gold. Struck in .9999 fine gold, the 1988 $50 bicentenary coin weighs half a troy ounce, approximately 15.55 grams. It has a diameter of 25.1 millimeters and is a legal tender coin, though its face value is largely symbolic. The true worth of this coin lies not only in its gold content, but in its artistry, its heritage, and its place within the broader context of Australian numismatics. On the obverse, the coin's front, we see the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the world-renowned artist Raphael Makhlouf. His depiction of Her Majesty was used on Australian coins from 1985 until 1998, and it is marked by its refined elegance and subtle detailing. The Queen is shown wearing the royal diadem, with the legend, Elizabeth II Australia $50, inscribed around her likeness. It's a familiar image to collectors, yet it remains dignified and powerful, a fitting match for such an important commemorative issue. But it's the reverse that truly sets this coin apart. Here, the artistry of Michael Tracy takes center stage. The design is nothing short of captivating. It features a pair of standing figures, a European settler on the right, and an Aboriginal elder on the left, both set against a backdrop of radiating lines, symbolizing the sun, a universal emblem of life and rebirth. Between them stands the iconic outline of the Australian continent, linking their stories across centuries. The symbolism is powerful. The composition is deeply thought-provoking. This is more than an illustration. It is a commentary, an artistic acknowledgement of both Indigenous Australian presence and the profound transformation brought by European colonization. The tension between these two figures is palpable. Their stances are grounded. They are not in conflict, yet they do not embrace. There is distance, there is space, but also a shared sun above. The image invites reflection. It prompts dialogue, and for a gold coin, that is an extraordinary accomplishment. Released by the Royal Australian Mint in both proof and uncirculated finishes, this coin was offered to collectors in special presentation packaging, often accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. The proof version, in particular, remains a favorite among serious numismatists, known for its flawless, mirror-like surfaces and frosted reliefs that give the design depth and drama. Each proof coin was struck multiple times with specially prepared dies, ensuring the highest quality possible. From a collector's perspective, the 1988 $50 gold bicentenary coin is a standout piece, not only for its beauty but also for its scarcity. While the mintage was not exceedingly low by global standards, it remains limited enough to create steady demand. Today, collectors are often willing to pay a premium well above the spot price of gold to acquire a high-grade example, particularly in its original case with documentation intact. Over the years, the value of this coin has appreciated steadily, tracking alongside global gold prices, but also increasing due to its historical significance and growing numismatic appeal. On the secondary market, prices can range anywhere from $65,000 to over $80,000 USD, depending on condition, packaging, and buyer demand. Those with pristine proof specimens, especially with full documentation and presentation box, often see the higher end of that range or more. But even beyond the price, beyond the gold, and beyond the presentation, the 1988 bicentenary $50 coin holds a kind of quiet dignity. It is a coin that asks questions. It honors the legacy of a country while acknowledging the complexity of its origins. It is a coin that connects past and present, colonial and indigenous, through a single, unifying medium. Gold, after all, is eternal, and through this coin, Australia etched its bicentennial story into that eternity. Many collectors who own this coin do not merely keep it in a case or a vault. They display it, they share its story with their children, with other collectors, with anyone willing to listen. Because in owning this coin, they do not just hold 15 grams of gold. They hold a moment in time. They hold the embodiment of an anniversary. They hold a conversation starter, a tangible piece of a nation's evolving identity. And as time passes, the 1988 Bicentenary Coin continues to grow in importance. Not because the gold becomes rarer, but because the story becomes richer. Australia's journey is ongoing, and each generation looks back with fresh eyes on how it began. This coin is a reflection of that journey, both the triumphs and the tribulations. It is a reminder of what has been, and an inspiration for what could be. In the ever-evolving world of coin collecting, few pieces strike such a balance between artistic beauty, historical relevance, and intrinsic value. The 1988 $50 Bicentenary gold coin is one of those rare treasures. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or a new collector, this coin is one you remember, one you admire, one you are proud to pass down. If you ever come across this remarkable coin, held in a gloved hand, shining under museum lights, or nestled safely in a private collection, pause for a moment. Take a closer look and listen. You might just hear the whispers of 2 centuries echoing from its golden surface. Next up, 1992 $50 gold coin. In the world of commemorative coinage, there are moments when gold becomes more than just a precious metal, when it becomes a chronicle of human achievement, a tribute to global unity, and a celebration of the enduring human spirit. One such moment was immortalized in 1992 by the Royal Australian Mint, with the release of the $50 gold coin commemorating the Barcelona Olympic Games. This coin is not simply a collector's item. It is a time capsule, a legacy forged in 9,999 fine gold, designed to echo the triumphs and dreams of athletes from every corner of the globe. United in pursuit of excellence, the 1992 Summer Olympics, held in the vibrant and historic city of Barcelona, Spain, marked a turning point in Olympic history. It was the first Olympiad in decades to take place in a post-Cold War world, where the divisions that had once fractured global sports began to fade. For Australia, the Games carried deep national pride and anticipation. It was an era when Australian athletes stepped forward on the world stage, aiming for greatness. To commemorate this global event and Australia's enduring Olympic spirit, the Royal Australian Mint released a $50 gold coin that seamlessly blended artistry, symbolism, and sovereign elegance. Crafted with the highest minting standards, the 1992 $50 gold coin was struck from 1/2 troy ounce of pure 24-karat gold, weighing approximately 15.55 grams, and with a diameter of 25.1 millimeters. It bore all the hallmarks of a premium collector's coin. But beyond its physical specifications, this coin tells a much deeper story, one that speaks not just to Australia's connection to the Olympics, but also to the country's commitment to excellence, its artistic talent, and its embrace of international brotherhood. On the obverse side of the coin, we are presented with the familiar and regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the distinguished British sculptor Raphael Makhlouf. This portrait, used across Australian currency during the late 1980s and early 1990s, is both dignified and serene. Her Majesty wears the royal diadem, and the legend encircling her reads, Elizabeth II Australia 1992 $50. It is a presentation of authority, stability, and national pride, reminding collectors that even amidst the global celebration of sport, this coin remains uniquely Australian. The reverse side is where the spirit of the Games truly comes to life. Designed by Horst Hahn, a renowned coin designer with a Royal Australian Mint, the coin's reverse depicts a powerful and evocative image of an Olympic sprinter mid-stride, caught in a moment of explosive athleticism and graceful motion. Behind the runner are stylized representations of speed and energy, waves of motion that suggest the intensity and momentum of competition. The Olympic rings are prominently displayed, as is the official Barcelona Olympic Games logo. It is a design that fuses motion and meaning, balance and boldness. Every detail is intentional, every curve reflective of the raw beauty of sport. This reverse design does something extraordinary. It captures not just the physicality of the Olympic athlete, but the symbolism of the Games themselves. The athlete is not named. He represents no one country. His form is universal, his stride powerful, his presence undeniable. He embodies the idea that the Olympics are not just about winning, they are about striving, about pushing limits, about reaching for something higher. And in doing so, this coin transcends its material nature and becomes a statement of values. Only a limited number of these coins were minted, with versions released in both proof and uncirculated finishes. The proof versions, in particular, are highly sought after, especially those housed in their original presentation cases and accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. The quality of the proof strikes is unmistakable. Mirror-like fields contrast against frosted designs, allowing every detail of the coin to leap out with clarity and brilliance. These are coins that were not made to be spent, but to be admired, preserved, revered. The 1992 $50 gold coin was part of a broader Olympic coin program that celebrated Australia's participation in the Games, while supporting the Australian Olympic Committee. In this way, purchasing the coin wasn't merely an act of collecting. It was a gesture of patriotism, a contribution to a national cause. Many Australians who bought this coin in 1992 did so with a sense of civic pride, knowing they were backing their athletes and preserving a golden memory of the Games. From an investment perspective, the coin's 24-karat gold composition ensures it retains inherent value, regardless of market fluctuations. Over the years, as global gold prices have risen, the coin's intrinsic value has appreciated accordingly. But unlike standard bullion, this coin also carries collectible premium, especially in pristine condition. As of today, it is not uncommon to see this coin trading in the secondary market for anywhere between $55,000 and $60,000 USD, with exceptional examples sometimes commanding even higher prices, depending on market conditions and demand. But what truly makes this coin special is its place in a narrative larger than numismatics. It is a chapter in the story of Australia's evolving national identity, a tribute to its role in the global athletic community, and a reminder of a unique moment in time when the world came together, not for politics, not for economics, but for the simple, profound love of sport. Collectors who own this coin don't just own a gold disc, they hold a memory. They possess a finely crafted artifact that links them to one of the most optimistic and unifying events of the 20th century. For many, it is a coin that evokes emotion, that stirs pride, that reminds them of a time when the torch was passed through the streets of Barcelona, and the eyes of the world turned to the track, the field, the pool, the court, with hope, with excitement, and with admiration. This coin stands as a tribute to that moment, a tangible echo of cheering crowds, record-breaking runs, and the undying will of those who dared to dream. And as time marches forward, the value of such a piece, emotional, historical, and monetary, only continues to grow. In the end, the 1992 $50 gold coin is not just a numismatic masterpiece. It is a statement, a legacy, a testament to the enduring power of the Olympic Games and the role Australia has played in upholding their ideals. For collectors, historians, and lovers of excellence, this coin will always hold a place of honor. Next up, 1993 $50 gold coin, Landcare. In the diverse and ever-evolving world of Australian numismatics, few coins offer the blend of environmental reverence, artistic elegance, and historical significance quite like the 1993 $50 gold coin, Landcare. This extraordinary gold issue isn't merely a collector's item or a store of value. It is a symbol, an enduring tribute to a national movement that reshaped how Australia saw its land, its environment, and its future. To understand the importance of this coin, we must go beyond its surface, beyond its weight and gold content, and dive into the heart of what it represents. Released by the Royal Australian Mint in 1993, this $50 gold coin was issued in celebration and support of Landcare Australia, a grassroots movement that began in the 1980s and blossomed into a nationwide initiative involving farmers, environmentalists, schools, communities, and governments. Together they work to restore, protect, and nurture the Australian landscape. It was a campaign built on stewardship, unity, and respect for the environment, a vision perfectly captured in one of the most elegant and meaningful coin designs in Australia's modern era. Let's begin with the technical details, for this is a coin that impresses even before its story unfolds. Struck in 99.99% pure gold, 4 nines fine. The 1993 Landcare $50 coin weighs precisely 15.55 grams, equivalent to half a troy ounce, with a diameter of 25.1 millimeters. It conforms to the same specifications as its commemorative predecessors from 1988 and 1992. Yet the 1993 issue stands apart. It is not a celebration of sport, royalty, or war. It is a celebration of the land itself, of growth, of harmony between people and nature. On the obverse, as with all Australian coins of the time, is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the renowned Raphael Makhlouf. Her image, crowned and stately, rests serenely in the center of the polished field. Encircling the profile are the inscriptions, Elizabeth II, Australia, and $50. This dignified portrait provides a sense of sovereign stability, but it also reminds the viewer that this coin is legal tender, authorized by the Crown, yet meant for collectors and investors. However, it is the reverse design where this coin truly blooms into something special. Created by Horst Hahn, one of Australia's most gifted coin designers, the reverse depicts a symbolic image of human hands nurturing a small sapling. The roots of the plant fan outward, digging deep into the earth, while the hands cradle the soil, protecting the seedling as it rises into new life. Above this tender, hope-filled scene is the word Landcare, boldly inscribed in an elegant serif font. Below it is the year 1993. This design is far more than a simple horticultural reference. It is packed with layered meaning. The hands represent humanity, our role as caretakers of the earth. The seedling represents the future, the promise of renewal, of sustainability, of continued life. And the soil, often overlooked in the grand stories of nationhood, is here elevated to its rightful place, the very foundation of all existence. Every line, every shadow, every texture of this design evokes emotion. There is grace in it, there is sincerity. It's rare to find a gold coin that expresses a humanitarian and ecological message without relying on grandeur or mythology. But the 1993 Landcare coin does just that. It is a statement not of conquest or commemoration, but of care. And in today's climate-conscious world, its message is more relevant than ever. From a numismatic standpoint, this coin holds considerable appeal. Released in both proof and uncirculated versions, it was offered to collectors in stylish presentation packaging, often accompanied by an official certificate of authenticity. The proof versions, in particular, are of exceptional quality, struck multiple times with highly polished dies. They showcase frosted devices that contrast beautifully with their mirror-like fields. In these proof specimens, the detail of the seedling, the texture of the hands, and the curves of the soil become even more pronounced, making each coin a miniature masterpiece of environmental storytelling. In terms of mintage, the 1993 $50 Landcare gold coin had a relatively limited release, especially compared to modern bullion coins. While not ultra-rare, it remains scarce enough that demand among collectors continues to grow steadily. And because this coin sits within the trio of commemorative $50 gold issues from the late 1980s and early 1990s, following the 1988 Bicentenary and the 1992 Barcelona Olympics coin, it is often pursued by those looking to complete a historic set. Then there's the matter of value. While the coin carries a face value of $50, its real worth is determined by several factors: the global gold market, collector demand, and its condition. With half an ounce of pure gold, its intrinsic metal value alone is significant. As of current market trends, you'll often find this coin priced between $70,000 and $90,000 USD, depending on condition and whether it includes original packaging. Pristine proof examples, particularly those untouched in their mint capsules with complete documentation, tend to command the higher end of that range. But to those who truly understand this coin, to the collectors who study its history, and to the environmentalists who understand its deeper symbolism, its value transcends currency. It's a gold coin, yes, but it's also a beacon, a quiet, powerful reminder that prosperity and protection can go hand in hand. That gold, often associated with wealth and power, can also be used to promote stewardship and humility. Many collectors, upon acquiring this coin, choose to display it, not locked away in safes or vaults, but showcased in homes, in libraries, in classrooms. It's a coin that starts conversations, that prompts questions, that invites us to think not just about the past, but about the future we're shaping, for ourselves, for our children, for the earth. The 1993 $50 gold Landcare coin may not be as famous as some of Australia's rarer pre-decimal issues, or as globally iconic as the Perth Mint's bullion kangaroos, but in terms of message, It may be one of the most powerful coins ever issued by the Royal Australian Mint. It is a golden whisper in a world full of noise, a shining call to action for every generation. Next up, 1994 $50 gold coin. In a world often defined by change, conflict, and uncertainty, there remains one universal constant that transcends time, culture, and language: the family. It is within the family that we first learn love, sacrifice, identity, and belonging. In 1994, the Royal Australian Mint paid tribute to this timeless institution by releasing one of the most heartfelt and symbolically rich gold coins in Australian numismatic history, the $50 gold coin, Year of the Family. This coin, struck in celebration of the United Nations International Year of the Family, is not merely a collector's item or a piece of gold bullion. It is a golden tribute to the cornerstone of human society. It reflects Australia's commitment to not just economic or political development, but to nurturing the very fabric of civilization itself, the family unit. The idea of dedicating a year to the family was proposed and adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 1989, with 1994 formally declared as the International Year of the Family. It was a call to governments, organizations, and individuals across the globe to recognize the importance of strong, healthy, and supportive family environments. The Royal Australian Mint, renowned for its creative excellence and cultural sensitivity, responded to this call with one of its most elegant and meaningful numismatic creations. Let us begin by examining the physical characteristics of this extraordinary coin. The 1994 $50 gold coin, Year of the Family, was struck in 99.99% pure gold, also known as 4/9 fine, weighing in at 15.55 grams, equivalent to 1/2 troy ounce, and with a diameter of 25.1 millimeters. The coin conforms to the same dimensions as its commemorative predecessors, such as the 1988 Bicentenary, the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, and the 1993 Landcare coin. But what sets the 1994 edition apart is not just its design, it is its soul. On the obverse, we find the familiar and regal effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, created by the acclaimed British sculptor Raphael Makhlouf. Her Majesty is depicted in stately profile, crowned and dignified, as befits a sovereign on official coinage. Around the portrait are the inscriptions: Elizabeth II, Australia, and the denomination, $50. The obverse, with its polished finish and balanced design, grounds the coin in national identity and legal tender status. But it is the reverse where the emotional and symbolic power of this coin takes full flight. The reverse design, conceived by acclaimed coin artist Horst Hahn, is a visual poem and intimate, touching scene of a family united. A father, a mother, and a child, depicted in a circular embrace, form a harmonious composition. The image is stylized yet deeply emotive, with soft flowing lines that convey warmth, protection, and unity. The figures are drawn in a minimalist style, allowing their posture and positioning to speak volumes. Their closeness, their orientation toward each other, and their shared space form a perfect circle, symbolizing eternity, completeness, and continuity. Above this image is the inscription, International Year of the Family. Below it is the year of issue, 1994. What's remarkable is how this simple design captures such profound meaning. There are no elaborate decorations, no mythical beasts, no national emblems, just a family, timeless, essential, and quietly powerful. This reverse design is a masterclass in understatement. It doesn't shout, it whispers, and in doing so, it draws the viewer closer. It invites reflection. It reminds us that amidst all our achievements and ambitions, what matters most often begins and ends with family. The coin was released in both proof and uncirculated versions. The proof version, in particular, stands as a true collector's gem, struck with specially prepared dies and planchets. The proof coin exhibits a mirror-like finish, with frosted relief elements that create a striking contrast. The design, already gentle and evocative, becomes even more lifelike when brought to life through the immaculate quality of a proof strike. These proof coins were housed in elegant display cases, often accompanied by a certificate of authenticity and a small booklet explaining the significance of the International Year of the Family. It wasn't just a coin, it was an heirloom, something parents could pass on to their children, something collectors could treasure for its beauty and its message. From a mintage standpoint, the 1994 $50 gold coin had a relatively limited production run. This scarcity, combined with its cultural and emotional value, has made it a highly desirable piece among collectors of Australian commemoratives. As the years have passed, interest in the coin has only grown, not just because of its gold content, but because of what it represents. Speaking of gold, this coin contains half an ounce of pure 24-karat gold. That alone gives it a solid intrinsic value, especially in today's global economy, where gold remains a favored hedge against inflation and uncertainty. Depending on the market, the coin's bullion value fluctuates with the price of gold. However, as a collectible, it also carries a premium, particularly for proof examples in pristine condition with original packaging. Today, you'll often see this coin valued between $40,000 to $50,000 USD, sometimes higher for near-perfect specimens. Yet to speak only of its monetary value is to miss the point. This coin is about legacy, it is about values. It is about what we pass on, not just through inheritance or wealth, but through love, memory, and shared experience. For many, the 1994 year of the family coin has become more than a collectible. It has become a personal symbol, a gift given at weddings or births, a memento kept in a family safe, a quiet reminder that gold, for all its luster, shines brightest when it reflects human connection. In an age of digital communication and fleeting trends, there is something profoundly grounding about this coin. It doesn't appeal to novelty, it appeals to the eternal. The design isn't flashy, it's timeless. The theme isn't political, it's universal. And that, perhaps, is why this coin continues to resonate. When we hold this coin, we are not just holding half an ounce of gold. We are holding a celebration of mothers, fathers, children, and the generations that bind us. We are holding a recognition that behind every nation, every society, and every individual stands a family, sometimes strong, sometimes fractured, but always significant. Next up, $2,050 gold coin, Millennium. As the clock struck midnight on December 31st, 1999, the world crossed a threshold not only in time, but in consciousness. The 20th century, 100 years of astonishing transformation, of innovation, tragedy, triumph, and evolution, was now behind us. Ahead lay a new horizon, the 21st century, a time of uncertainty, of immense possibility, and of historic reckoning. In this rare moment of global unity and reflection, nations everywhere sought to mark the occasion in their own unique ways. And for Australia, one of the most elegant and lasting tributes came not in the form of fireworks or speeches, but in gold. Enter the $2,050 gold coin, Millennium, a coin forged not just to commemorate a date, but to symbolize the spirit of an entire era. Struck by the Royal Australian Mint, this remarkable coin stands as a shimmering monument to a turning point in human history, where past, present, and future converge in a single, golden statement. Crafted in 99.99% pure gold, that's 4 nines fine. This exquisite coin weighs 15.55 grams, equivalent to half a troy ounce. Its diameter is 25.1 millimeters, making it perfectly aligned with previous $50 gold commemoratives. But this coin is no ordinary issue. It is a celebration of time itself, of Australia's journey into a new millennium, and of the enduring values, heritage, progress, unity, that the nation carried with it into the 21st century. Let us begin, as we often do, with the obverse. Here you will find the timeless effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, captured in regal profile by the celebrated British sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this effigy offered a more mature and naturalistic portrayal of the monarch, one that reflected both dignity and realism. The portrait is surrounded by the inscriptions, Elizabeth II, Australia, and the coin's face value, $50. But it is the reverse side, where the magic of this Millennium coin truly unfolds. Designed by artist Wojciech Pietrnik, the reverse captures the essence of transition. The image is beautifully symbolic, a stylized human figure standing with outstretched arms atop a globe. Behind the figure, an abstract wave rises upward, evoking both motion and transformation. Radiating lines suggest both the sun and the passage of time. The figure appears almost mythological, not bound by a single culture, gender, or age. It is humanity itself standing at the gateway of a new era. The word millennium arcs across the top of the coin in capital letters, while the year 2000 is placed boldly at the bottom. Together, these elements form a visual representation of optimism, of hope, of forward momentum. It is not just a design, it is a statement. It says, "We are here, we have come far, and we are moving forward." This coin was issued in both proof and uncirculated versions, though the proof coin is where its artistry truly shines. Struck multiple times using highly polished dies and planchets, the proof version displays a mirror-like background that contrasts elegantly with the frosted relief of the design. Every contour of the figure, every detail of the globe, every wave and arc gleams with precision and craftsmanship. For those lucky enough to own the proof version, the coin was presented in a deluxe presentation case, often accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. These official packages served not only to preserve the coin's condition, but also to remind collectors of the cultural and historical significance it represents. Now let's talk about rarity and mintage, a critical element in any numismatist's consideration. The mintage of the $2,050 Millennium coin was relatively modest. While not produced in extremely limited numbers, it was still a special release, targeted more at collectors and investors than the general public. This has ensured that, over time, demand has grown steadily, especially as pristine examples become harder to find. On the secondary market, the value of this coin is driven by several factors: its gold content, its numismatic significance, its aesthetic appeal, and of course, its condition. With half an ounce of pure gold, its intrinsic value already offers a solid baseline. But as a commemorative piece, it carries a meaningful premium, especially for proof specimens in mint condition. As of today's market, depending on the spot price of gold and the coin's preservation, the 2000 Millennium Gold coin can fetch anywhere from $35,000 to $40,500 USD, and even more when accompanied by original packaging and documentation. But beyond numbers and metal content, this coin holds emotional value. For many, it represents not just a shift in centuries, but a personal milestone. Some received it as a gift to mark a birth, a marriage, a retirement. Others collected it as part of a broader journey through Australian gold issues, and some simply saw in it a beacon of possibility, a reminder of how far humanity has come, and how much more lies ahead. Let's take a moment to reflect on the context in which this coin was released. The year 2000 wasn't just the dawn of a new century. It was a time of unprecedented technological progress. The internet was changing the world. Mobile phones were becoming ubiquitous. Societies were growing more interconnected than ever before. And yet, the turn of the millennium also brought with it uncertainty about identity, environment, economics, and ethics. In that context, the Royal Australian Mint didn't just strike a coin. It delivered a message. It said, "Let us remember our shared humanity. Let us honor our past while stepping boldly into the future. Let us carry with us the things that matter most: community, unity, and progress." The $2,050 Millennium Gold coin is therefore not just a product of its time. It is a symbol for all time, a golden bridge between what was and what is yet to be. A coin that doesn't just commemorate a moment, it commemorates a movement. For collectors, this coin is a gem. It rounds out any collection of Australian gold commemoratives from the 20th century and stands proudly as the gateway to a new age. For investors, it is a store of value, anchored in one of the most trusted commodities on Earth: gold. And for everyday people, it is a memory, a beautiful artifact of a once-in-a-lifetime moment when the whole world paused, looked forward, and dreamed together. It is often said that coins are the handwriting of history. They bear witness to our values, our milestones, our evolution as a people. And few coins carry that truth as eloquently as the 2000 Millennium $50 gold coin. So if you ever find yourself holding one, whether as a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning their collecting journey, take a moment. Hold it in your hand, look at its detail, feel its weight, and remember what it stands for: not just the end of one millennium, but the hopeful beginning of another.